Hello, everyone, and welcome to Jewish Psychology, our channel. We want to share today a very important advice that is connected to happiness, joy, and confidence. What is this advice? Very important advice, and sometimes we neglect this advice without even noticing. What is the advice? Each one of us has some kind of values and goals that shape, that rule his life, that is committed to those values. What does it mean? In every home, every house, there is some kind of hierarchy of values. What are the most important and dominant values that shape, that lead your life, that you want those values to be very dominant in your life? There are all kinds of values. There are those that sometimes we adopt, sometimes we adopt those values consciously. We know, we decide, we prefer, we see. I say to myself, those are the values that I want to rule my life, to rule my house, to rule my relationship, to rule the way I educate my children, my parenting. And sometimes they penetrate to our life unconsciously. You don't really remember where and how you adopted them. Sometimes they came to you from your parents, you saw them from your neighbors, but still they dominate your life and they control them. And you try to achieve goals through those virtues, through those values. Some example for those values, there are those homes that put in hierarchy the value of achievement. The most important thing is that the children will bring good grades and that you will achieve things. It's very important to them because they know it's a very the society push you to achieve, to fulfill yourself, to reveal your inner powers. And if you do not bring achievements, results, that means something is wrong, something is neglected, and you are being evaluated. From the word value, you are being evaluated every moment by what you achieve. And if you do not achieve, you worth less. So sometimes and there are different ways to gain achievements. You can gain achievements through develop curiosity, through pushing them to get good grades, through kindness, or through being very strict and harsh and stiff with your children. But still, the most important value that you have in your house is achievements, and you are happy when your children and you brings achievements, when you make another sale, when you achieve another goal in your life. Achievements is the most important value in your life, when your grades are high. And there are those zones that the most important value, or one of the important values in the hierarchy, is aesthetic. It's make them crazy when something is not in its point, in its place. It's like, I need everything to be in its place. And when my house is not clean enough, and when it's not aesthetic enough, and it's not in my taste, according to my taste, or if I did something and I'm not really pleased with what I did, I feel that everything is collapsing, because my most important value in life is aesthetic. And there are those that only, we said before, unconsciously, what is running their home is survival. They're only looking for how to close the month, how to make enough money that they will survive. They have a survival mode that dominate their life, and because of this survival mode, all they think about is how to survive. And another example for values that dominate, that run our life, is there are those families that the most important thing is healthy. To be healthy, healthiness or being healthy, or the healthy body, it's very important thing. The nutrition, what we eat, doing sport, it's very important that we'll sleep enough. It's dominate the house until the point that it makes you, when you have some kind of value which is in an high hierarchy, it could make you fight with others or have dispute with others because of this value. For example, if your parents came to you and they bring some candies, and in high hierarchy, the value of developing your body and being healthy, it's very important for you. And then you see your parents with your candies and you start fighting with them. How did you brought those unhealthy food to my children? I won't let you be again with my children. You're destroying their teeth, and etc., etc. And the result is that you are so concentrated in this value that is important to you that you forget other values, your parents, relationships, other things. And our advice today, that sometimes we neglect this advice, is to take the value of happiness and confidence and bring them into the first place in the hierarchy, to bring them up to those values that run your house, your home, your family, your relationship. What do we mean? Usually we think about happiness as a result. When I'll get to, I will be happy. When I'll achieve something, I will be happy. When I'll have my body will be healthy, strong, and I'll finish running 40 kilometers, I will be happy. And the truth is, vice versa, it's the opposite. If happiness could not have a precondition that unless you are fulfilling this condition, you will be happy. I mean, if you don't do something, only when I'll achieve something, I'll be happy. Vice versa, that means that happiness, it's a tool to achieve other things. Usually people come to me and they say, okay, I'm succeeding so much and I want to, he's 35 years old and he want to achieve something. And now, at the age of 35 years old, you remember that he has a soul. What does it mean? Something is hurting him. Only when something bothers you, you remember that you have a soul. So it just says, just help me take aside this stress, anxiety, depression, some kind of something that I'm suffering for, so I could continue doing what I do. So, and when I'll achieve what I want to do, only then I'll have confidence, only then I will be happy. And the truth is, as we said, the opposite. What does it mean? If happiness could not have a precondition, if you fulfill something, only then you will be happy, because when you're thinking like that, you will never be happy, because there will always be something that unless you will fulfill it, you won't be happy. There will always be something. If you do not upgrade, if you do not use happiness as your first value, I want to be happy unconditionally. Doesn't matter what is happening. Doesn't matter. I want to be happy. I want my family to be happy. Doesn't matter what's the achievement of my children. Doesn't matter if somebody ruined my clean house, my aesthetic, if I'm not having what I need. Happiness, it's the first value that I want you to adopt. And I want my house to be happy, and I want my children to be happy, and I want my home. You can smell happy home. You can smell unhappy home. Very home that has so many stress in it. You can feel it. You can see the child that is stressed. And then parents ask, what can I say to my child so we won't suffer anymore from anxiety? It's not something that you say. If your child will notice, will see, if you'll bring home happiness and you'll put aside the stress, because now achievement is not in the first value that you appreciate, but happiness is something that you appreciate, he will also change his mode. But it's very hard for us, because in order to put happiness in high hierarchy, you have to lose a little bit. You have to change your mindset. You have to understand that controlling, navigating your emotions, your negative emotions, it's the real purpose of life. And then achieving other things, it's only the result, only the way to achieve very healthy and harmonic soul that is manifest in the body. It's very important way of living. What does we mean? When you think about happiness as not as a condition, not as a result, but as the thing itself, that as a very important thing, confidence, something that I want to live through, and confidence and happiness will lead me at the end to achievements, to achieve my goals, to be in the place that I want to. When you think like that, you change the whole way you think about life. You change your whole attitude, your mindset. What is mindset? Well, mindset, it's the glasses that I wear on my eyes, and through them I see, I understand, I make relationship, I make love, I do things, I walk. And if my mindset is as a different things that I want to see, if my mindset is compound through values. If I don't have the right values in high hierarchy, then I lose the ability to be happy, and I won't be happy. There is a very beautiful story in Parashat Balak, in the portion of Balak. You remember Balak ben Tzipor was the king of Moab, and he saw the Israelites that they are developing, succeeding, and they are going, into Israel through his land, and he's afraid, and he's asking Balaam, the evil prophet, to curse those Israelis, and he asked them, and he said to him, it is well known that if you are cursing someone, the curse will fulfill itself, it will happen. And if you are blessing someone, he will be blessed. And he asked him to join him and to curse the Israelites. And Balaam says, I cannot do it. I have to ask my God. I'm a prophet. I cannot do nothing without asking my God. So he's asking God, and God said, no, don't go with them. Don't go with Balak. And then we won't get into all of the details, but then after Balak is disappointed and is going back to his home and is getting back to, and he thinks, okay, I'll try to convince him again. Second time, he's getting back to Balaam, and he asks him, Balaam, would you be ready? Twice, second time, will you be ready to curse the Israelites? And Balaam says, okay, you know what? Just a moment. And he's asking again, God. And then God said to him, yeah, you can go. You can go curse the Israelites. You can go with Balak. And Rashi, the most important interpreter of the Torah, is mentioning them there from Tractate Makot. The way a person wants to go, he will be led to. If you want to go to a certain place, if you want to go in a certain direction, that's the place that everything will go with you. You can decide, you can choose. The most important thing in Jewish thought is that you can decide every moment about your mental health, about the way you see things, about the way you appreciate things, about your mindset. But you have to decide. And if you make this decision, consciously or unconsciously, everything will be pushed in this direction. Balaam wanted to go, at the end, okay, you want to go. And it's right, it's the same according to, when you think about happiness. If you don't want to be happy, if you don't put it in hierarchy, if you don't really evaluate happiness as a very important value in your life, you won't succeed to embed happiness in your family. You won't succeed with that because you really want other things. You want your child not to suffer from depression or from anxiety. You don't want him at the age of 23 to stay in his house, but you want really other things. You want him to make achievements. You want him to succeed in life. You don't want him to really be happy. And happiness as a goal change your perspective. And when you are happy, you will get married and you will succeed. And happiness, we have to understand, happiness is not only an emotion, it's a state of mind. It's a combination of few emotions that's at the peak of them. What is happiness? In Judaism, happiness, it's like the way I see things. And the most important things in this mindset is that I see that everything is right for me. Is precise for me. I'm not a victim, and nobody hate to me, and nobody took to me. Everything in this reality is precise for me because it was created. It is created in this moment for me. And without adopting this point of view, I always feel that I'm missing something. Why do we really want to fulfill our potential? Because we do not want to feel that we missed something in life. And it's a true virtue that we have. It's a true power that we have. It's a very important tool that we have, that we want to fulfill life. But still, you have to hold different, contradicted perspective for life. One of them, you have to push yourself forward to gain more, to achieve more, to do more. In every conversation that the Lubavitcher Rebbe had with, doesn't matter whom, he told him, no, you can do more, you can achieve more, push yourself forward. But then it's also, you have to live in the moment. In order to live in the moment and to be existentialist, like it means to really be here. When I'm here, I am here. And in order to be here, I have to be happy, because happiness means that I do not think I need to be in another party. Somewhere else is the place for me. I'm in the right marriage. I'm in the right relationship. I'm in the right place. And holding those two perspectives together, that they are contradict to one each other, only then you can do things, reveal your inner powers, but still be happy in your place. And feel, in this moment, this is the best place for me. In the next moment, maybe I'll be in another place, but in this moment, it's the best place for me. And you choose where to be. And there is a beautiful idea from, maybe you heard Rabbi Nachman, who is writing like that. I will translate it by my own. He's saying, the rule is that a person has to be very determined and to put all his strength into being nothing but happy at all times. Why? Because for human nature is to draw itself to gloom and depression. It's a natural thing. What does it mean it's natural? You don't have to work on yourself in order to be in depression, to be gloom, to be in anxiety. You have to work on yourself in order to be angry about something or about someone. You don't have to work on yourself. It's a natural thing, but you have to work on yourself in order to be happy. You have to change your perspective. What does it mean to work on yourself? To really decide the way you want to see things. To really decide that if somebody told you something, you decide not to be offended, and it's so important not to be offended by others, because when I'm offended, when I feel that somebody is minimizing me, I'm losing my attributes, I'm losing my powers, because now I'm being controlled by others. So he's saying depression, it's very important to pull yourself from this natural characteristic of the soul to the tendency to gloom and depression on account of life vitality. And it happens because of, why it happens? Because of, you deal with things. Life is hard. Even though we have to mention that now we are living, doesn't matter who you are and who listen to this podcast. And if you're listening, you're more than welcome to join our channel and to subscribe. And we really want, we said it a few times, that we really want to upload 2-3 times a week. In Hebrew, we upload every day. But because it's in English, it's harder for us. So if you're listening, you're more than welcome to motivate us a little bit with subscribing, and you can leave a comment. Okay. So, but we are now living in the best period ever for humankind. For the Jewish people especially, but for the humankind, doesn't matter who you are, in Africa, in America, or in Israel. Never in the history of human being there was better life spiritually, and of course from the perspective of mundane life, of living, healthy life, abundance, and everything. Still, you walk in the street, you see people really happy. No. Why? Because happiness is not connected. Is not the condition for happiness is not that you will have more. Happiness is a state of mind. It's a decision about the values that you want to live according to. And happiness is not, there is not only one perspective, one way of being happy. You can be very serious and happy. There are 10 ways of being happy. You can be very in a state of mind, very, in a reverence, but still being happy inside. It's like Gilu Birada. You are happy inside, but you are full of heart or something that you see or somebody that you are interact with. So happiness, you can smile with happiness, but through all the kinds of happiness that we can appreciate, live, see, experience, through all those happiness that we can experience, the most important thing is that you never feel that you are not in your place. So it's something that, it's a rule, it's something that you should always be happy, Rabbi Nachman says, and it's not natural. That means that you have to work on yourself, and you have to, therefore, a person has to exercise great effort in forcing himself to be happy. You have to find all those kinds of ways to make yourself happy. Doesn't matter how. And even though it's important to have here and there a moment of contrition, of broken heart. Broken heart, that does not mean sadness. It means for one moment I say to myself, oh, what a terrible father you have been. But if I'm staying in this place, what a terrible husband I was. If you stay in this place, that means you are still dealing with yourself, because your spouse, your family, your children needs you now in a happy mood. When you're thinking about how terrible I was, and you let it control yourself, and it's like, and you eat yourself, how I was, and how I talked, and what I missed, and you are becoming obsessed with that, who is in the center? The only one that is in the center is you, because you're thinking only about yourself. So it's right to break yourself for a moment, and then, but the whole day you have to change your attitude and to be in a happy state of mind. And okay, that's what I am. In order to be happy, you have to accept yourself with what you did, with whom you are, because you know that from an inner perspective, you have a very high soul. You are connected to something that is cleaner, that is complete, that is cohesive, that something that it's better than the way you acted before. That's why you should be in a happy place. What is gloom? In Hebrew, it's mara shchora. What is being gloom? Gloom is that you think, okay, everything is not perfect in my reality. I need to be in a place that, or I'm not doing thing in a perfect place. I'm not uploading a video that is perfect. And you always think that something could be better. It's a good way to push yourself to correct things. But if you let it control your soul, then you will always feel that you will harm yourself, because you will always be obsessed. You're not good enough and you won't do enough. And Rabbi Nachman is adding something very, very beautiful. He's saying, sometimes people are dancing and they are happy, and then they see someone from the outside that is a bit sad and is sad and gloom and in depression, and they take him forcefully. They force him against his will and bring him into the circle of dancer against his will, and they force him to be happy along with them. And it's only way to understand ourselves. It's like sometimes we don't want to be happy. Why you don't want to be happy? Because when I'm happy, that means I'm taking responsibility. And taking responsibility, it's a very hard thing. Why? Because I have to give up the place where I am a victim. I'm not a victim anymore. I cannot, there is a kind of a pleasure being in the middle, what they did to me. It's like, it's the pleasure of being in the center. Because now I want attention, but it's negative attention. It's poison. It's toxic attention. Why? Because I only think about myself. Oh, I didn't achieve. Nobody gave me. You spoke ever with someone that is really concentrated with himself? He's talking only about himself. That means he cannot be happy, because he's only seeing himself. Being happy, that means I'm in the right place, I'm doing the right thing. And then Rabbi Nachman is adding, you have to run after. It's not enough to think about happiness as okay, it's a good virtue, it's a good value. No, you have to run after the sadness, after the gloom, and take it into the circle of dancing and change it, transform it into happiness. And happiness, I wrote 11 books about Chasidism. And happiness, I can tell you, it's the most important, deep, innovative idea in Chasidism, because it encapsulate everything that you can understand about yourself. When you are happy, that means you caught the right perspective about life. You caught the way you should live life. And it's hard, because you have to fight against all of your nature. All of your soul that tells you, oh, I should be in another place. I'm not influencing enough. What is my value? Who am I? And when you win this value, winning every moment, when you win this value, win this war against your inner nature, and you are being happy, that means you decided to take happiness and confidence. Confidence, that means, we'll talk about confidence in the next episode. When you take happiness and confidence and put it in hierarchy in the values that dominate your life, that navigate, that rule your life, only then you can say to yourself, now I really appreciate what is happiness. And without doing that, you will never achieve real happiness. Okay, thank you very much. You're more than welcome, as we said, to subscribe to our channel and to leave a comment. I need a little bit of interaction with English speakers. I'm from Israel. You can see more about me in the link below or in one of the videos. See you in the next episode, in the next video. Thank you very much.